All right, let's talk about remote work. It promises all this freedom, right? But so often it just delivers distraction. So in this playbook, we're going to break down the exact systems you need to turn that flexibility into your greatest professional asset. You know the feeling. You've been glued to your screen all day, but when 5 o'clock hits, your to-do list looks pretty much the same. Look, that's not a personal failure, it's a system failure, and that's what we're here to fix. And this really gets to the heart of the matter, the remote work paradox. We chase this dream of total freedom, but without the structure of an office, that very same freedom can become a trap. It can lead to endless distractions, a completely blurred line between work and life, and eventually, just total burnout. So the single biggest change you can make, it's all mental. The old office way of thinking was built on presence. Just showing up was half the battle. In a remote world, that's totally irrelevant. The new currency is performance. It's not about the hours you're logged on, it's about the results you actually deliver. So how do we make that shift? Well, it all starts by building a really solid foundation. Before we even get into fancy apps or different techniques, we have to master our mindset and our physical environment. First things first, and this begins with how you frame your entire day. The goal isn't just to work from 9 to 5. No, the goal is to finalize the client report and draft 3 new proposals. That simple switch from focusing on time to focusing on outcomes gives your day a clear and actionable mission. And here's a critical piece of advice. Always prioritize discipline over motivation. Motivation is a feeling. It's fickle. It comes and goes. Discipline, on the other hand, is a system you build. You don't have to wait to feel like working. You just have to start. Committing to just 10 minutes is an incredibly powerful trick to overcome that initial resistance that so often stops us from even beginning a task. Next up, let's talk about your physical space. I know working from the couch seems like one of the perks, but it actually just confuses your brain. You need to create a dedicated work zone. It could even be just a specific corner of a room. It sends a powerful signal to your brain that says, when I'm here, it's time to focus. And please, do not underestimate ergonomics. You can't do your best work if you're uncomfortable. A good, supportive chair isn't a luxury. It's a productivity tool. All right, with our foundation in place, it is time to get tactical. We are going to look at 3 powerful, proven strategies for taking control of your day instead of letting your day control you. We'll focus on 3 key pillars here. Time blocking basically gives your time a job. The 80-20 rule makes sure you're working on the right jobs. And single tasking helps you do those jobs and do them well. Together, they create this incredible system for managing not just your time, but more importantly, your focus. So let's make this real. Time blocking means you literally schedule write project brief from 10 to 11 a.m., and you treat it like a meeting with yourself that you cannot miss. The 80-20 rule helps you realize that, hey, landing one big client is way more valuable than answering 50 tiny emails, so you tackle that big one first. And single tasking is just admitting that you can't really write code while you're also watching a webinar. Doing one thing at a time is always faster, and the quality of your work is so much better. You know, that idea of single tasking is really the gateway to what might be the most valuable skill in today's economy, deep work. This is simply the ability to focus without distraction on a hard mental task. It's not just about avoiding social media, it's about creating the mental space for real breakthroughs to happen. Just let that sink in. This isn't about working more. It's about working with more intensity and focus. One truly locked-in hour can be more productive than half a day of scattered, shallow work. I mean, that is an incredible return on your investment of attention. So how do you do it? You have to be proactive. You create a focus ritual that signals to your brain, okay, it's time for deep work. Turn off the pings and the pop-ups. Physically remove the biggest distraction of all, your phone. Put it in another room. And then create a sensory bubble for yourself with some headphones. You are literally architecting an environment for focus. Now, you might be thinking, wow, this all sounds like a lot to manage. But the final piece of this whole playbook is actually about embracing simplicity, because the best system is always the one you'll actually stick with. Think of it this way. The best productivity system isn't the one with the most bells and whistles. It's the one you don't even have to think about. If your system requires a 30-minute setup every single day, it's already failed. The goal is a simple, repeatable process that becomes as automatic as brushing your teeth. And one of the simplest, most effective systems out there is anchored by this number, 3 to 5. This is the rule of 3 to 5. It isn't just about having a shorter to-do list. It's about forcing yourself to be ruthless with prioritization. By limiting yourself to just a few key items, you stop getting bogged down in all the minor stuff. It gives you incredible clarity and a very clear definition of what a successful day actually looks like. If you get just those things done, you've won the day. But how do you know you're choosing the right 3 to 5 tasks? Well, that's where the weekly review comes in. Just spending 20 minutes on a Monday morning to align your week with your big picture goals ensures you're not just busy, but you're busy working on what truly matters. It's the compass that guides all your daily decisions. So, when you put all of these pieces together, the mindset, the environment, the tactics, and these simple systems, you move from being a victim of your calendar to being the architect of your own day. And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. Being a productive remote worker isn't some talent you're born with. It is a skill. And just like learning an instrument or a new language, it takes practice, it takes intention, but it is absolutely something you can learn. So the final question isn't about whether you can do this, but what you will do once you have. Once you reclaim all those hours that used to be lost to distraction, what will you create? What will you achieve? What will you build with your newfound focus? That is the real power of mastering your professional freedom.